Hello, what's going on, guys? Hockey Guy 1 here. Welcome to my review of Glass. So, Glass is directed by M. Night Shyamalan and stars Bruce Willis, James McAvoy, Samuel Jackson, Sarah Paulson, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Spencer Clark. So, the story is after David and Kevin kind of fight each other, they kind of get sent to the mental hospital. With Elijah, from Unbreakable, and has to find a way to prove that the world of superheroes are real, and escape the place while exposing the entire doctor, saying that they know what's actually going on. So positives are the story is done pretty well for the most part. Like it's coherent and pretty easy to follow for the most part. Like the first act and most of the second act are pretty good. And yeah, I mean it's coherent and it also forms a really good plot. Like I said, and it's a very coherent story for the most part. And Bruce Willis reprises his role as David again, and he does a great job. And always he's into the role. He's showing expression. He's into the role, and he does a very good job with acting like the character. And as always, Samuel Jackson does a good job. When do you ever see Samuel Jackson suck in any of his roles? Like, I don't think he's ever sucked once in any of his roles, even when he's in some bad movies. He did a great job, as always, like I mentioned. I mean, he's always into his roles. He always acts very well and acts like the character very well, and looks like he's into his role all the time. And he's into the role, and he did a great job. And then James McAvoy, I feel like was the highlight. I feel like he did better than any of the other actors. He did a great job, and he's definitely into the role like the other two, and he's well into it, and his performance is really great. There aren't really many action scenes, but they're pretty good for the most part. Like David fighting the horror at the beginning, and the climax. Well, I can see how people wouldn't really like the climax, but it wasn't really until the ending that I didn't like the film. I didn't like the climax, but it's done very well to me. The climax, other than the ending of it, and the second part of the third act, I'll get to, but I still think it was done pretty well. Like you get into it. It's great action, like with how David and Kevin are fighting each other, and it happened twice in the film. Both of them were very interesting and fights, and they get you into the film for sure. David's a very well developed character and fleshed out even more than it was in Unbreakable to me. I mean, like the way they developed him is very good. Like they made him like have a good relationship with his son, and the original he just got a little kid. The bond was pretty good there, but I feel like they developed that bond even more here, and made you actually care for David, and David was done very well. Well, Elijah Price, I do feel like, is probably the best thing about this movie. Well, I wouldn't go as far as say it's the best thing. I mean, he's not in it as much as you think, but he's very well developed. I mean, I like all of his backstory that it showed. And his bond with his mother's done very well as well. His character in general is done pretty well. Like he's smart, and his powers are kind of developed more, and his looks just done pretty well. Well, like he shows how smart he is throughout the film, and how he kind of tricked them near the climax. And like his character is developed pretty well, especially with his bond with his mother, like I said. Kevin's also developed pretty well, or Horde, as he's called. He's done very well, and it's very well developed about the film. Like since he was captured, you can feel bad for him and his relationship. I believe Clark is done pretty well, and kind of feel bad for him throughout the film, as his powers are also very cool, even though I did see him in Split. So it's still done pretty well here for the most part, and his character is even more developed, as you do kind of feel bad for him at times, and it's done very well. And the visual effects look pretty good for the most part. I mean, I don't really say much bad about the visual effects. They look good. They made, like, I'm sure they used them a lot in the action scenes. They look pretty good. But all the things they use visual effects look pretty good. Like, and you can tell they use visual effects. They all look pretty good. With that said, this film isn't perfect at all. It has a few negatives, and yeah, like this isn't a major negative I have, like kind of minor negative I have. The second act, like I did say, was good, but there are plenty of scenes that did drag a bit in it and went on for a bit longer than they should have. Like they do drag a bit. Like the villain, like the doctor at the mental hospital, just I mean, she's a very weak villain. I mean, and it was not really that intimidating. She just kind of tortures them and doesn't really do much else in the movie. She's not that intimidating. She's nothing really special. She's not a good villain at all. And isn't done very well. And now the ending, now this is a huge problem. Like the ending was not very good. I didn't really like some of the decisions they made. I mean, it didn't really make sense for the type of story this was trying to be, what they tried to do with the ending. And I wish they kind of executed the ending more, considering the first part of the third act, which was a climax, was done pretty well to me. It was until this point in the third act that I was liking the third act. Like, I did not like what they did with the ending. Like, I don't want to spoil what they did, because it would contain major spoilers, but it wasn't done very well at all. And I wish they kind of did something better to the ending than what they did here. So overall, Glass is a pretty good movie, and definitely M. Night Shyamalan is definitely redeeming himself after Last Airbender and afterwards with Split and this. So I'm gonna give Glass a 7.5 out of 10. That was my review of Glass. What are your thoughts on Glass? Tell me in the comments below, and I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.